tastes great to vape. Nixteria, ooh, Nixteria.
And we're back for Wake and Vape. Hey, how cool is that?
But you can see us this time.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily good for them. That they
You
can
do have a
actually
face
see
for
us.
radio.
I
We're
do have a
beautiful.
face for radio, absolutely. My mom said that about me, which
I'm
is really
special.
frightening.
That's what my mom said about me. I don't know how good or bad that was. But anyway, now you can see us.
So, I'm Rat,
Brad.
Stacy.
Lee.
and we wanted to bring up a couple things about a little fun we had with the county executive of Erie County yesterday.
Yep.
Did
No
a little,
pulling cars.
did a little impromptu show up and be counted meeting for him. Well, it wasn't that impromptu. It was pretty planned.
It was an
Well,
official
no, it wasn't
Yeah.
planned by
It
them
was-
at all.
No.
No, I don't think they
Yeah,
knew
that-
what was
Where are
going
you
on.
from?
I think the best part about that was when we get there and they said, "Well, gee, we have no idea what's going on, but we'll find you a room." They showed us basically like a coat closet. It's like,
Some tables,
no,
some chairs.
we have
and,
like
you know,
a bunch of people here,
have a
and
seat.
yeah, and then we took over the biggest conference room they had, and we were pretty jam
For
packed.
some reason, I thought it was going to be more official than that. I mean, what we went through at the legislature, across the street. I mean, you went through security, being scanned, metal detector. And then you had to go and sit, and there was, a podium and tables and I mean, there was like so much more involved that you would have thought, being the higher official, it would have been.
Yeah, it was.
This was it was listed as a public hearing, but only on his website. And but no, it was not.
It wasn't
official.
even a hearing. It was a public speaking event. That's basically it. And there was no speaking on their end. It was just all from the vapors and the people against vaping, which there's only two.
Yeah, we
But-
could have had it in any of our garages.
That's what I'm saying. It just didn't seem so.
It wasn't
like,
exactly
it
formal.
made me feel like we weren't that important enough to have something set up better than what they did.
I had the feeling that they didn't expect
A lot of people
a
there,
lot, if any,
right?
as many as showed up, and there were
Yeah.
over 80. I counted there were over 80 people in that room.
Yeah.
I
More than
expected
what
more
came.
opposition than
Yeah.
That's
just
what
the
I thought
two.
too, because we had the people from Roswell at the legislature, and we had students and moms and workers and the health association there, all battling us with their, I don't know what kind of studies they had, some kind of hieroglyphics and whatever, and there were only two people there representing the American Cancer Association and the
Roswell Park.
health from Roswell Park.
Roswell Park, yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, they I think they really expected that to be a mere formality walkthrough, and we showed up with our army of folks, and a couple of the other vape shops in town showed up with people
Yeah,
too,
that was
which was
great.
great.
Yeah, we
Great
shut
to
down
see.
our store. Vapor Trail shut down. We
Vapees.
also had Vapees shut down his store. You had also
Exotic
the House of Vapor was
Yes.
there. Exotic, Mountain Oak,
Yep.
and Perfection Vapes.
Yep. So,
Even Majestic Vapor
Majestic
from
was
Majestic,
there.
Niagara
yeah.
County. It
Yes.
was not even
Yeah.
our county, but she showed up to.
but that's
to
just
support
part
us.
of the industry and the community and the vaping industry that we all, band together on this.
Well, and also it's unfortunate but true that when something like this happens in Erie County, guess what?
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Trickle down.
Cattaraugus,
It's a domino
Niagara. It's going to
effect.
go right down the row, and that's why I was worried. And when we were in New York last year, and they were talking about, well, they're going to put out that banning thing in the city area, and I said we
It's
should be
gonna
worried
come.
about that
Yeah.
because it's going to work its way west.
But this is the thing, is that even though we know that there should not be vaping in some facilities and that you should ask, before you do vape, and not a lot of us do that, not me, but, there are vapors out there that just take it for granted that they should vape and, check clouds, and that is putting us in this position that we're in right now.
Absolutely.
And it's just common courtesy to ask before you vape. And I know that, it's not such a big deal. I mean, it really isn't a big deal about the vaping in general in certain venues and industries. It's the whole, just in general, that they're trying to come down on us with these regulations. And it's going to start to escalate It's banning in public places now. Now they're gonna what's gonna happen next? Taxing. What's gonna happen next? Ban of e-liquid, and then after that, and then after that. Once they win one, we don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
So we got to
it's-
fight, one at a time.
That's it. Is we've taken the position from the beginning that we're gonna fight you every step of the way. Not in a combative way, but
No.
just
We're gonna
try
fight
go
for
out-
what's right.
We're gonna try to go out and inform and instruct, and having some PhD or MD, I don't know what their title is, from Roswell Park citing a study
Yeah.
that was done incorrectly years ago. To me, that doesn't really ring as truth.
No.
And it's our job to go through and tell people, educate people that there are better studies that show this.
Right. Just because you have a title and you're reading from a paper doesn't mean it's legit. Doesn't mean that all the facts are there.
And all the studies haven't been done. There's studies that are going on. This is still a new thing that they're going to continue to study.
Well, and that was a point that I brought up yesterday, is that the Surgeon General of the United States said there's some studies that show some very positive looking results. We should investigate this further. And that's the Surgeon General of the United States. It doesn't get I don't care what your PhD is from Roswell. You're not the Surgeon General.
Right. The thing.
Let's go with that direction and do the homework and do the research and put out better factual information based on studies that are done in a way that would replicate how a human being would use the devices and use the
Right.
liquids and things like that.
And everybody that was, from the vape shops that did speak yesterday, they had, a lot of good information for Mark and some, personal stories that they shared, and, just some things that could rebuttal what our cancer, Research of America woman was saying, and the person from Roswell was saying, because who's to know where they're getting their information from?
Yeah, it's what really bothers me about them is when they've spoken, and when they spoke at the legislature, and now when they spoke at the county executive's office, they assume everything. The attitude, the assumption of truth, like, because I say this, it's true.
Yes.
No,
Because I'm affiliated with such and such,
yeah,
it is true, and
And-
I'm going to look down upon you because you know nothing.
and that's why I
That's what
spoke
makes me
when
upset.
when I spoke to them yesterday. I said, we've provided information that completely refutes what they've said. So
Well, it drove me crazy when she said that there was no evidence that it improved people's health. And yet you had an entire room of
Yeah.
people
yeah, you
Well,
had
if
nearly
you said-
100 stories where it
that
improved
their
the people's
health-
health.
has been improved.
Those don't count though.
Doesn't count, no.
Not having asthma, that doesn't count. Bronchitis disappear? No, that doesn't count
No,
either.
like Lisa from Exotic Vapor,
Right,
who
who
has
has
COPD
emphysema.
and is now off all medications and off inhalers and off everything because she started vaping. But that's not proof that this is.
No. And me
helping.
not getting bronchitis,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
every year for the past, 16 years or so, that doesn't play any part in this being a benefit to my health. I don't know. I think they're
Yeah.
just, it's stuck in their head.
Well, they're very selective in what they
Right.
look at.
Right.
They'll
Right.
look at what they think is their point of view. And I don't want to play conspiracy theorist, but I'm gonna. Without cancer, they don't have a job.
Oh, I was just thinking, that's so funny, because I was just thinking that, and I really wanted to say that, but I didn't want to start a whole big, uproar. But you're right. Without cancer, it's a money-making disease.
Yeah.
It's a money-making disease, and if they, were to side with us and stop people from buying cigarettes,
A
maybe
wise
cancer will
person,
stop. Maybe, and then their profits are going to stop.
a wise person once said to me, "There's absolutely no money in prevention," and he was right. There's a lot of money in care, treatment, everything else. There's no money if you don't get the disease in the first place.
Right.
So, if
Well,
all
there's
things,
money in prevention, when you have to buy every single thing out there because it doesn't have, pardon me, a success rate
Right.
of at least of 2% or 0. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Well,
you
that's
can try the gum, you can try the patch, you can try the crazy pill that makes you want to commit suicide, but they don't want that on their advertisement. But you can try all those because you're paying for that, and your insurance is paying for that. And that's why your insurance goes up, because you got all these different meds that you're on, and they still don't work.
Yeah, that would be my counterpoint to that. To your point would be, those are not really preventative measures because the failure rates are so extraordinarily high.
Like Brad said before, cold turkey has a higher success rate than
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
things. And even cold turkey is hard because a lot of people just go back to smoking. They quit. Oh, I quit smoking. I did it on my own. I did cold turkey. Good for you.
2
But a
days
year
later,
or even 6 months
Yeah.
later, you had a stressful day, and you went out and had a cigarette.
Yeah, and it's amazing how that one cigarette leads to another one automatically. It's not like you fall off the wagon, you have one cigarette, and then you're good again. People, the failure and recidivism rate is crazy.
Right.
we had one of our former employees just recently came in because she got stressed with stuff going on and went back to cigarettes.
And everyone
Came
around
in.
her smoked, so
Yep.
it was just an easy way of getting back
Sure.
into a bad habit.
But at least she came back in and took forth the effort to get
Right.
get back off of
I'm
the
proud of her
tobacco.
for doing that.
So I mean, this meeting we went through it. Everybody had their chance to talk. Now Mark Polencars has some time to mull it over, look at all the letters that we sent in and everything, and then he's going to make a decision.
Right.
In the meantime, we have to make sure that we are courteous. Don't just think, oh, well, it's not a law yet. I'm going to go into AMC Theater and chuck clouds in the front row. You can't do that. You have to respect the
Well,
other
that's-
vapors in the world because those people are screwing with us. There was just an issue today where I saw, looking through some of the forums earlier, where a kid posted that he was in school and they took his e-cig because he was vaping in school.
How ridiculous.
He was 18.
Yeah.
You should have been out of school by now. But don't vape in school. Don't bring it in. If you know it's not supposed to be there, don't bring it
Doing
in.
is more harm than good, even though you feel that you have the right as an by the law, an adult at 18, you have the right to do this, but where you're doing it is causing the problem, and how you're doing it is causing the problem, and we need to really work together and be discreet, and don't do it in the schools. It's already prohibited. There's no ban on that right now. It's already in place. There's no vaping in the schools.
And everywhere you go is technically private property unless you're outside, but that's still owned by someone. And you got to respect that owner's wishes. You might think, oh, well, at school I can do whatever. It's not, Jim Bob's house. Someone still owns that and has the right to make the decisions there. If they say, no, I don't want vaping, which all schools are going to be against that, you can't. If you're walking down the street, that's fine. If you're at a local tavern where they allow it or a restaurant that allows it, that's one thing. But ask the establishment before you do it. It's when you don't, you just go in there and you start chucking them thinking it's my right. That's what is screwing us.
Right. We all started at one point with a smaller device. We all started somewhere where you could not chuck clouds. For public, in the public's eye, resort back to that. You're still getting the sensation that you want. You're getting the vapor that you want. You're getting your nicotine that you want. But just because, you're built a coil that produces a lot of vapor doesn't necessarily mean that you need to use it everywhere. Go back to using your small device just to be respectful.
Yeah, and Lee, I'll tell you, when we went a few years back, we went to Spain. The flight from JFK to Madrid, I brought my little crummy device, and I vaped on that flight, on the airplane, discreetly.
How long was that flight, though?
The flight was
9
8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, but nobody knew I was vaping because it would have been disrespectful for me to turn around and blow clouds in the face of the person behind me. That's wrong. It's like, okay, I've got a little vape, keep it quiet, cool, unseen. Although the one person behind me did think they smelled cookies. They want to know where the cookies are. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't
It's a
smell
Scratch
cookies.
Stiff magazine I'm reading
Yeah,
right now.
I don't know about the cookies. I
It's
didn't
new
see
cologne.
those.
That's my cookie cologne.
But no, it's discretion is the better part of valor. It certainly is, and it's the folks that are, walking through the middle of the mall, chucking clouds because they think, oh, look how cool I am. You're not cool. You're
No,
ruining it
you-
for everybody
yeah,
else.
You are. The people that really need this in their life, you're ruining it for them because you want to show off and see who can make the biggest cloud.
If you want to do that,
Come to the cloud comps.
cloud comps.
Yeah.
Go to the vape shops where they recognize that, and I just feel that they should be doing it as much as they are in the public because it's putting a damper on things.
Yeah, and really, any responsible adult is going to say the same thing. We want the ability to vape within reason, and the key in that is within reason. If you have permission, and the part that I brought to the legislature a couple times was, what about the free market making the
Yeah.
decision? If you own a bar and you want to allow vaping, that's your business. It's your property. If you own a bar and you don't want vaping, then that's his property. It's his decision. Get a little sticker on the door that says vaping allowed here, or vaping,
Yeah, no
or
smoking,
no
no vaping.
no smoking, no vaping, whatever. And I think that would be the best decider
Well, just look
of
at
what
the
happens.
one gentleman who said that it improved his employment status. The employees didn't have to go outside; they were allowed to vape, within reason at their desk.
Sure.
And when a client came in, he asked them not to, and they obeyed not vaping until the client left, and they were allowed to vape again. And they didn't have to go outside. They didn't have to stop working to take their,
Yeah, productivity
break.
goes way up with that.
We had a couple different clients that would want their employees to vape. They would use it as promotional material. Hey, if you reach this goal, we're going to give you an e-cig. You reach this goal, we're going to give you juice. And these clients were in the collections industry. One of the highest stress jobs you can have. Anybody that's worked in collections and was a smoker, they'd make a call, 2 calls, they're outside for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Back in, make a call, 2 calls. And their productivity changed so much because you're dealing with a stressful customer. You're trying to get it. You just take a drag and you keep on going instead of getting all frustrated, which makes you meaner on the call. When you can get your Nick fix if you need it, you can get the stress reliever, you can stay on there and you can keep doing it. And production has gone up anywhere that allows vaping.
yeah.
I know when I was smoking 3 packs a day, I was out at least once an hour for a cigarette, at least.
Sure.
And you figure a cigarette break is going to take you at least 10 minutes away from your desk or your machine, whatever you're doing. So you lose an hour and 20 minutes a day out of an 8-hour shift just to go out to smoke.
When I was smoking and had to leave, it was like a project to go and smoke. You had to discreetly leave your desk, go outside. You kind of hid so no one could see you. Then you had to discard the evidence, then go back discreetly to get back to your desk, and then
Cover
you,
yourself in perfume.
I know, spray up so no one would smell you, and then but that you're like doused in cologne or perfume.
I used to hate getting into her car to drive because every time she'd smoke, she'd spray herself down with perfume. So I'd get in, I'd put on her seatbelt, and that's all I'm getting is her perfume all over me because it's all over the seatbelt.
Yeah, it's productivity is one thing. Another thing is quality of work. I mean, just the general, like you mentioned, if you're stressing out, you take a few puffs and you're calmed down, whether it be the nicotine or more importantly, the psychological thing, which is a big part of what vaping is.
Yep.
And people don't understand that the hand to mouth part of smoking is possibly the hardest part to break. The nicotine thing, you can obviously supplement the nicotine with a patch or with a gum, so that should work beautifully, right? No, the hand to mouth, the
visual.
expelling something, and that whole feeling is what keeps it working for all of us and most of the vapors that I've talked to.
If we still smoked, we probably would have went to commercial at least twice by now.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we'd have to go and have a cigarette.
Down
Yeah,
the street,
so that-
off the property.
that time that you lose from going outside, the productivity you lose from, you're on with a customer and you're thinking, I got to get out of here. If you're thinking, I got to get out of here, you're not thinking about the person you're talking to on the phone.
No, when is my next break?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
the clock
10 minutes to
watcher.
my next break. 5 minutes to my next. Now it's my break. Okay, I'll be back.
But
And I'd be
that's-
willing to bet you had it happen where you start doing the cigarette math. Okay, I had a cigarette 46 minutes ago. If I hang in there for a couple minutes, I'm within my right to disappear. And the next thing you know, you're out the door again. And really, you said you lose an hour and a half almost. I bet you lost more like 2.5 because you'd be screwing around where your mind was not anywhere near your job.
At first, when I started vaping, I kind of missed going outside because it's like, yeah, you got that break every hour. You go outside for a couple minutes, and I'd see other people walking out for cigarettes. It's like, go back to doing my work, But you didn't get that socialization that you would get as a smoker because everybody was always out there, especially if you were working at a place where they were strict and you could only go on your breaks and your lunch, and then you got 50 people smoking in one little butt hut.
But that's what's so sad about this ban, if it does go through, is that all the vapors are not going to be sent back outside
Yeah.
with this.
In the wintertime, like I remember my mother used to work for Children's Hospital, and they had this little greenhouse shed that everybody would have to go into to smoke. And especially in the wintertime, that's where you want to go because it's the only place that shielded you from the elements. And to have to walk in there where that it's like going to a cloud competition, but it's just all smoke, and you're just walking into a burning building.
Yeah, it's the whole one of the things that's really bothered me more than anything else about this was we as vapors have made a choice. We have, through our own research or from research we've heard from other people, and we believe that this is a better alternative. Now, if the government's issue is really our health, which we know it isn't, but if it really was, if we want to buy that belief that it really is about our health, why would you, A, put the people who got away from tobacco products out with the tobacco products, and B, send the negative connotation that vaping is no
different.
better for you
Yeah.
than tobacco products, which it's been proven by every single story of every single person. I've yet to hear a vapor say, oh my goodness, I started vaping and my health has gone way to pot since I stopped smoking cigarettes. Everybody says the opposite.
Yeah.
I can walk up and down the stairs without a problem. I don't get bronchitis. I don't have respiratory problems. Nobody says the other thing.
It just seems that they're fighting so hard on this when we know, everyone knows, that cigarettes are bad. There's nothing about a cigarette that is good. What's in them is bad. The smell of them is bad. The price of them is bad. It's just all around bad. But you can go and smoke. And no one's going to judge you. And no one's going to, try to bring you down because you're smoking, except if you go inside, of course. But they're coming down on vapors like we're some kind of... It's stereotypical, I think.
Yeah, it's a weird connotation that they're putting on vapors that I don't like. It's almost that we're worse than smokers.
Right. You get the looks from these people that you're doing something wrong and weird, and then they pull out a cigarette and start smoking, and you're like, wait a minute. You're judging me?
The thing is that they know that they have the dollar from the tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it all boils down to. It
Yeah.
boils down to money. And that's one thing. I'm going to change topic here a little bit. I'm really upset at the turnout we had from customers in the vaping industry.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There were
What
a
turnout?
decent amount of people. There were a couple that showed up. I think we had like 2 customers of ours that showed up. But, between all the vape shops, we're servicing probably 10,000 customers in the Western New York area. And we had maybe 10 to 15 customers that showed up. Before we closed down yesterday, about a half hour beforehand, I'm in the store, and a customer asked, well, why are you guys closing down? We told them, well, we're going out to this public hearing. One of our employees told him that, and I chimed into the customer. I'm like, you know what? If you got time, you should come down there and speak. He's like, no, I'll let you guys fight the battle.
Yeah.
And that's just the wrong way to think, because some people say that, the vaping industry is fighting the battle because it lines our pockets. Okay, yes, we all have a living in the vaping industry, but our living is in making a better life for you. We're out there trying to help people get off of traditional tobacco. And the fight's not over.
No.
Right now we're done in Erie County, but then there's going to be Niagara County, there's going to be this county, there's the state. We're going to have to go to Albany. When we do have to go to Albany again, we will probably get a bus and try to get people to come down. But if anything turns out like it was at, every other meeting we went, it's probably not worth getting a bus. We could just take a station wagon and fit everybody that'll go.
But they can't think like that. They can't think that their voice doesn't matter and their participation doesn't matter, because it does. I mean, even if you don't speak, even if you're just down there supporting us, showing them that there are people out there that are just not in the industry to, sell, but in the community that are, benefiting from this, it does matter.
We did have a couple people there that never smoked, never vaped, have nothing to do with the industry, don't work in the industry, but they just know that the government is wrong with the way they're going about it.
Including a registered nurse.
Yes.
Yes.
And unbelievable. I'm very thankful for the gentleman that came from Pennsylvania, who is a part of the smoking cessation.
Yeah, Smoke Free Pennsylvania.
Right. And he was, very thorough on his information.
He rocked it.
And, coming to Mark Poloncarz with all this information that, there should not be a ban, and, why the health industry is wrong. And it was great to have that support there.
And everybody that did come down, thank you.
Yes.
If you spoke, you guys did awesome. If you look further down in our YouTube channel, you will find the full video from yesterday's event. So if you want to see yourself or see the way it went, just look down on our YouTube channel, you'll find it.
And I do want to say thank you for the people who wrote letters to the county executive. We appreciate that. And every letter that we received from customers did get sent to the... Although the funny part about that little...
You got your response.
I did get a response from Mr. Poloncarz. I got the response this morning, and it said, "We appreciate your input. I want to thank you for your input on this, but we are going to have a public hearing yesterday." So he invited me to the public hearing yesterday, today.
Yeah.
You think they maybe put that out in that time frame on purpose? When did you mail your letter out? Did it just get there recently, or
no, like a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the people that mailed one in 2 days ago are going to get it next week.
yeah, saying you should have been there last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an everyday thing. If you're a vapor, and if vaping has meant something to you, and if you've made changes in your life because of vaping, or vaping has made changes for you, get involved. It doesn't. You don't. I'm not saying you have to get a placard and walk around on the street corner. Although I would beep when I drove by you, but at the same time, take a step, write a letter, tell somebody, make a phone call.
Even if it didn't affect you directly, but if it helped out a loved one,
Absolutely.
a family member, a friend, you see how it's changed them. People need to know. These people need to see how many of their constituents they're affecting.
There's power in numbers, and there's towns and counties across the United States that are doing this exact same thing. They're passing bans and legislation, and there have been some that have been overturned because the people came out, and there have been some that haven't passed.
In Washington, they're trying to pass a 95% tax. They had a really good turnout there. We need to get those kind of turnouts here. because that's what's next. It's the way to join tobacco and e-cigs together so that they can be classified together and taxed together.
Yeah, think of how much money the state loses on every pack of cigarettes they don't sell.
Right.
2/3 of that pack of cigarettes is tax. That's a lot of money.
And the only thing they're getting out of us is sales tax. So
Right.
they need to find out, how can we make this $5 bottle be $17? That's what they want to do. And that's what you need to stand up and fight for, because it's going to, the tax goes on to you. It's not the store owner, the businesses that pay that tax. We have to charge you. So if you want to keep your e-liquids at these prices and your devices at the price that we have, and not double or triple, you need to step forward and join in the ranks and let people know you're not going to put up with it.
Right.
Yep.
So definitely, we're going to still be, excuse me, asking people to write letters still, and send us your stories, and even take a video, a selfie
Yeah,
video,
absolutely.
and send it to us, so we can get it out there, and we can send it to Mr. Polenkar still, because he hasn't made his decision yet. He has some time, but even if you just did a quick video of yourself on how this has made your life better, and send it. I mean, definitely we'll get it out to him.
Yeah, that's,
Send us the video. We'll give you a 30 ml bottle of juice for doing that. And maybe out of all the videos, we'll pick the best video that will win more than that. But we need to get the videos done. We're also going to end up a couple days a week. We'll notify this in one of our next videos. We're going to bring our cameras to the retail store. If customers want to come down and sit in the confession room or what have you, and just talk for a couple minutes with one of our staffers about how it's helped you, how it's changed your life, so we can get it out there for people, because people need those stories.
And just remember, when you are doing your video, be respectful. Vulgarity, swearing, and gestures that are not respectful are not going to get you anywhere. So we just ask that you do it tastefully.
We all have our thoughts about
Definitely.
Mr. Savage and some other people, but we'll keep that between us. We don't want to put that out on the web. We don't want. We want the positive stories that are going to help.
we're not going to get anywhere if we're insulting the people that we need help from.
Right.
So definitely keep that in mind if you're sending something in. Last time you had a questionable grade in school, and you went up to the teacher. If you went up and MF them, they probably didn't give you the extra point or two for that grade to give you the A or the B or whatever.
Right.
You
might
probably
have got a C
much
for
more
that.
likely, much more likely to get a failing grade on your next exam.
But
But
anything that's submitted to them, they have to look at.
they
Right.
do.
Legally, they have
They-
to look at
They
it.
do
so.
look at it.
So don't think
And-
that your letter goes into the round filing cabinet. It has to be open. It has to be, read and looked at. And
Yeah,
So they have
if
to
you-
look at everything about it, so we could have these people make like 4-hour videos. Tie them up
want.
for months of having to watch a
if
video.
they want.
if you think that
Just an hour
you're-
just chucking clouds.
Well, don't. No,
No,
don't do that.
if you think that your input doesn't matter, you're missing the point. Because if none of us went, that would matter.
Right.
That would definitely matter, because they would have been able to have that meeting in a room that was half the size if we
closet.
didn't go.
In the storage closet.
And every time we show up in numbers and tell them how we feel and what we would like, we don't go in there with demands. We say, this is what we'd like and this is why. Every time we do that, if nothing else, the education process continues. And that's really what it's all about for us as vapors, is to educate the people who don't know. There are still, and we don't think of it this way, but Leah and I have had this conversation a couple times. There's still a ton of people out there that have no idea what the heck vaping is.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And
And a lot of them
we
are
take it
elected
for
officials.
we take it for granted because we've been vaping for 7 years. You guys, not as much, but so we take it for granted because we throw terms around that are vaping related terms, and we understand the lingo. We just rap and we talk, but some people have no idea what framework you're working from, and it's still the process of education. And that's one thing that I took away from the legislature was the biggest problem is this is a crisis of perception. All they see is a cloud, and they are thinking smoke.
Assumption.
And that's something that you can do is educate the people around you, your family, your friends, people that aren't into vaping, because people see one negative research study but know nothing about it, and they take that as fact when they have no idea how the research study was done. They don't know anything about it. They don't know what the words mean. They just see it as negative, and all of a sudden that's what they believe vaping is. So,
well, that's why I was so frustrated with some of that stuff. That's why the last time I spoke at the legislature, which in retrospect may not have been the best choice, when I went in and told them that ever since I started vaping, I've grown 6 inches. My acne cleared up, and on a full moon, I can actually fly. Because I figured I was so tired of hearing the PhDs from Roswell just quoting stuff that wasn't true, that we know isn't true, and having it being assumed as fact. So I thought, well, why not? I'm going to go in there and say some things, and we'll see if they assume them as fact, or will they see them as absurd as they really are meant to be.
Right.
So always tell people, share with everybody who will listen what it is, what it's done for you. And one thing I was telling my staff when I asked them to pen a letter, I said the one thing that no one can ever take away from you, and one thing nobody can ever discredit, is what it did for you. If you tell the story of how it affects you and what vaping has done for your life, nobody can ever take that away.
Right.
All right, why don't we take a quick break? We'll come back, talk a little bit more about the hearing yesterday, and then we'll talk about other events that are coming on with Nixteria in the area. We'll be back after these messages.
Juicy vapor, ooh, juicy vapor. Well, you can vape in the morning, vape in the evening, vape all afternoon. You can vape at home, or vape at work, or vape by the light of the moon. It tastes great to vape. Juicy vapor, ooh, juicy vapor.
Available at 2468 Niagara Falls Boulevard in Tonawanda or online at juicyvapor.com.
And we're back on Wake and Vape, and we have a couple of exciting events on the horizon,
yay.
which I'm looking for. See, even Lee is yay and clapping, and that's exciting.
I like events. They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
We get to meet the people. We get to hang out.
It's exciting stuff.
And that is the one part that we here at corporate don't get. Like, our folks at the store, at our retail locations here and in Chicago, they get to mingle with the people. We don't. We get to mingle. The closest I get to the people is a sheet with their name and their address on it and what they want.
Maybe a photo ID.
Yeah, that's as close as we get. Right. If somebody has to send an ID, I get to see, okay, that's Lou. Okay, good. So it'll be nice for us to go. I mean, I really had a good time when we were out in LA and when we've been in New York. But hey, the party is coming to us.
Yes.
Yep. The Electronic Cigarette Convention. We're actually sitting in our booth right now that will be at the Niagara Falls Conference Center, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yes.
So that you will have an easy time at finding us because you'll find all the lights and we'll have fog and music playing and everything.
There you go.
Yay.
There we go. And we were just talking during the commercial break that if you want to come down and you want to do a video, we're going to hook you up here. We'll have our camera set up at ECC. We'll use the couch here if people want to come in and just tell their story about how vaping has helped them so that we can submit it. That's a perfect time to do it. There's going to be a bunch of people there from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're an Erie County resident.
No.
You know, anybody's story is important
It's
because
gonna
it's
come to
not
your
just
town
going to be
anyway.
Erie County. It's going to be, Niagara County, New York State,
Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Then
you know,
you get the FDA.
the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Canadians that'll be coming down, it's going to work. We all have to band together for everybody, and these videos will make available for anybody that needs them
Help
to
it.
show to their,
Right.
their government.
It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. I mean, the one in California was huge. I mean, they have a full house almost for the one that's coming here. I think there's only a few spots left available for vendors. There's going to be a business-to-business dedicated time on Thursday and Friday from 10 to noon. Both those days will be only for business-to-business. And I believe that even if you are not having a vendor site inside the building, that you can come in as a vendor for $50 and promote your company and go to each business and talk wholesale and such. So that's a great opportunity. And then from noon to 7 on Thursday and Friday, will be open to the public.
No, Thursday is just business to business.
Oh, I thought there was...
No.
Friday
is business to business till noon. Noon to 7 is open to the public, and then Saturday from noon to 6 is open to the public.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where can they find out? They have a Facebook page, don't they? I think Electronic.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. I think it's ECC Expo.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's what it
Yeah,
is, too.
it's- if you put in ECC into Facebook, it's gonna take you.
Yeah.
Don't go to the community college page.
No.
Though.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Totally different.
Or
Next-
if you go to
Next thing
electronic-
you know, you'll be majoring in criminal justice. Like, I just wanted a vape.
if you search Electronic Cigarette Convention, I know you can go to their website and then a link to the Facebook page as
Yeah.
well. So there's information out there for you.
Yeah, so come on out, say hi to us, absolutely, and you can see what other vendors are offering and see what's new and happening in the vaping industry.
You might go home with some free stuff.
Yeah.
And when we're there, we're going to be promoting our Cloud Sauce line, which is one of our newer lines of higher VG
Beef
juices.
yeah.
So we're going to bring out probably like 5 different juices that we're going to be giving away. 10 ml bottles. Let you try it. If you like it, we'll have coupons available to hit us up online or come into our store. It's going to be a great time. Lots of swag.
Yeah.
Cool new T-shirts.
Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, and the one thing that was my favorite part of Los Angeles was,
Del Taco.
well,
Are they
aside,
coming?
Aside from Del Taco,
Del Taco's
I-
coming?
Yeah, you'll
I
have
wish.
to pace yourself. Perhaps we'll take a salsa run. Was the day that we finally just decided, okay, we don't want to carry anything back with us, so we're giving it all away, and we're gonna have fun. And I had the most fun just accosting people and saying, "Hey, you got any juice in your pocket?" Well, no, I don't. Well, put some in your pocket. Here, take some. I had so much fun giving stuff away to people. Just people walk by and throwing it in their bag. Here, take this. Try this. Tell me what you think. Whatever. That is the best part. That is the fun. If you're just a John Q. Public coming in for open to the public section of the day, you're gonna get some free stuff. You're gonna get to try new things. You're gonna meet some cool vendors, and it's definitely worth it. So swing out, come
Yeah,
and
we're
see
going to have
us.
some wholesale deals, too,
Yep.
for people who want to get into, purchasing us for wholesale. We're going to be doing some discounts for that, too.
My lab loves turning out wholesale for customers. We really do.
I'm thinking, other things we can bring. Why don't we do a free drawing people can come in and get into, and we'll give away a full Cloud Sauce line in 60 mil. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't even know. What are we at? Like 30 or so Cloud
Yeah,
Sauce
35,
flavors right
give
now?
or take.
35?
35, I think it is.
35 Cloud Sauce flavors, 60 mil glass bottles. Some lucky customer that comes in there will walk out with that.
That sounds
Awesome.
awesome.
That's-
Is it okay if I stuff the ballot box
Uh-huh.
with
No.
my own name? No.
Sorry.
Employees are not eligible.
You can use your real name because nobody knows it, so
Yeah,
you
it's
might win
true.
under that
I
one.
might win. But no, it's the best thing is if you, especially because we're in our neighborhood, come and say hi. If you're local, please come and say hi. Those of us that work here at corporate don't get to see you, get to meet you, and we want to. We really do, because we know as vapors ourselves how much vaping has affected us. I'd love to hear how much it's been a positive impact on your life. I get jacked up. That makes my job more exciting for me. It's like we're doing good here.
Now, it won't just be the corporate people that are there. You will be able to see some of the faces you remember from the retail store.
Yes.
So they will be in and out. You know, we're going to have a full staff there. Everybody's going to get a chance to come in and have some fun and spend some of their money.
Yeah. And it's big. I know initially they were only going to get part of the conference center, but they
Right,
actually went up renting out the entire
Yep.
conference center. So
And then there's going to be an after party at Hard Rock Cafe. Saturday
You're going to be
night.
up on the main stage for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
His
We'll
ukulele.
be singing karaoke. Islands in the Streams, you and I.
Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah,
want the people to come
y'all
see
want to
us.
see that. Y'all want to see that. This will be the first and last ever ECC Niagara Falls.
Anywhere. They'll just be like, we're done.
Oh.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Drop the mic
Oh.
off the stage. Yeah. Get in the tour bus. But no, and because we're crazy and we can't just work really hard, and then rest. There's no and rest in our vocabulary. So like the week after ECC, which is a gigantic event, we're doing a cloud competition.
Another vape meet / cloud comp on the 11th of April, which is a Saturday. And that's going to start at 1. Come in, we're going to have some great deals, some snacks, food, prizes, and then the cloud comp will start at 5.
And
You gotta
that'll be
pre-register.
at our Tonawanda location.
Yes, 2468 Niagara Falls Boulevard.
Yeah, and it was a riot. The last month was a lot of fun. Met a lot of nice folks over there, and it's one way that Brad convinces me to come in on the weekend. It's like, hey, we're having a cloud comp. Oh, cool. We can meet some people. Come in.
And what do they win?
Oh, they win the whole cloud sauce line. 35 bottles. 30 mil?
I believe it's 30 mil is what they said. 30 mils of cloud sauce, just for the winner.
Yes.
And then there's a second and third prize as well. And anybody that gets into the cloud comp
Gets about all
gets a 30 mil bottle of the flavor that we're using for that competition.
Awesome.
So everybody that chucks a cloud, tastes the flavor, gets to go home with a bottle.
Yeah, so
So
if
come
nothing
out.
else, come on out, say hi, and have a vape and have a bottle on us.
Yeah.
And this is a vape meet. So any of the other vape shops out there that want to come down, bring some of your flavors, for people to try and stuff. We want to get the community together more often. And it's not just all about Nixteria. Yes, we're hosting it. We're giving the place for it. But we want it to be a real vape meet where people can come in. They can try our juice. They can try Vapor Trails juice. They can try Vapey's juice, wherever. We're trying to get the community together.
Absolutely.
And we'll be doing this once a month.
Yes.
It's usually going to be the first Saturday of the month.
But unfortunately,
but
we couldn't because of ECC. Which
No
is,
one would show up.
Right,
Everybody would be at ECC in the after party. Unless we have the cloud comp at Hard Rock.
Um,
you're gonna be able to judge.
I don't think that is possible.
Probably not.
Good idea.
No, plus it's more events. It's more people,
No.
more fun, more things. It's
And other vape shops, I hope you were paying close attention to what Brad was just saying. That's the reason, that still to this day is the reason why I accepted the position here. Is because he is very genuine about let's be a team together, let's be a community. And that to me is what vaping has always been about, is a sense of, hey, you vape? Me too. Hey, let's talk. Let's go have a coffee. That's what makes vaping cool and unique. And I'm excited that you promote that. I think more shop owners need to be concerned with that sense of community. And I don't mind being a leader in that, but come on, let's
Yeah.
all come
Well,
along. Let's
we
have
go-
fun.
We go to Vape and Vinyl on Wednesday nights at the American Legion in Tonawanda on Main Street. And there's a whole bunch of vapors there. Different store owners gather there. We talk. We, have a good time, listen to some music. and it's just a great overall experience.
And we all spent a little time together, as we always do. But we all broke off in a little bits, and we'd go and talk to. I was telling Brad this morning, I had so much fun talking with the Vapies staff last night and just hanging out with them.
It was Rat and Lee's first time to go out there.
Yeah.
Stacey and I have been going out there for a couple months now, every Wednesday, and they had a blast.
Oh, so
Yeah.
much fun. It was so much fun. It's
just
just good people.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
it
small,
really
quiet,
is.
not quiet, but a quaint little space. It's nothing huge, but it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good to get out there, and talk to
Vape,
people.
have a drink, listen to some cool tunes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Cheap drink.
Oh, cheap.
Very cheap. It's, I think, $1.50 draft, $2 bottles.
Yeah, it was a $3 glass of wine, $1 for a soda. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And they have pull tabs. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
Only Buffalonian.
And what?
The
How much did you win
addiction.
yesterday? Like $8?
No, 12.
12? She spent 80, but she won 12.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if the balance sheet was really there, but it was the fun of it.
It was. It was a lot of
And
fun.
so, just to sum up, still the fight is not over with Erie County, and really, for that matter, every county, because they will all follow suit one after the other.
I want to bring up, as they stated the last time when they voted on the ban in the legislature, they said that things can always be changed or amended or repealed. So even if this bill passes, or the ban passes, we shouldn't stop.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
we need to get into their minds and let them know that we're not going to go away.
No.
The thing is, with what we're asking people, we're not asking for money.
No,
We're asking for your time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time
And
is
it's
for-
time to help yourself out and your fellow vapors.
Yeah, the appeal is really ask yourself this question. Do you enjoy vaping? Do you want to keep going? Do you want to see where it'll take you? Well, if the opportunity isn't there anymore because the legislatures have run roughshod over your right to choose this, then it's too late. Actively participate in one way or another, whether it's write a letter, make a phone call, do a video,
Yeah.
go to a meeting. Absolutely. It's funny how it's spiraled out of hand for Lee and I, because we got a letter in the mail from the town we live in that said, hey, we're having a meeting this weekend about putting in a no parking zone by your street. Would you like to come? We're like, yeah, we're going to go. We've become activists because it really is not that big of a deal to take a little time out of your life and go and have a say.
Yep.
If nothing else, it's so rewarding. It's for Neo. It's one of those moments where you feel the Matrix there, where you pay your taxes, where you go to church, but you're doing something that's right. You're actively taking a part in your life, and you're not just riding. You're driving. You're not the passenger.
And if you have any questions about how to get involved and what to do, or what should be said, or anything, you can email us.
Email, call, leave a comment in the below this. And
Definitely.
another thing I want to mention, make sure you do subscribe to our channel, because not only are you going to be getting a weekly Wake and Vape, but you're also getting a weekly late night vaping with Nixteria, which is more of our retail crew. And the next one that we're putting out next week is going to be in a very cool location. So you have to tune in next week to check that one out.
And if you have any issues or any kind of topics that you want us to talk about, do you have any questions that you might want answered,
Yeah, let us know.
let us know.
Absolutely. So stay involved, stay active. Come and say hi at ECC. We'd love to meet you, love to shake hands and say hello. And, of course, shaking hands with us usually means you're going to get some free juice, too. And then after that, come to our house and hang out and chuck a few clouds in a place where it's acceptable and it's encouraged.
And next week's late night vaping, we're going to have some guests in from Vapies and Dr. Bob from the vinyl part of it. So it's going to be a good time.
So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
It tastes great to vape. Nixteria, ooh, Nixteria. It tastes great to vape. Nixteria.